Here we are on the back side of our journal for 3.1. We're going to now practice taking some whole numbers and multiplying them with unit fractions. Okay? What I want here on this back page is we're going to actually be doing 6 practice problems. So we need a 2x3 grid. Let me just kind of help you understand that a little bit better. Let's just kind of go right down the middle. Think about what's right in the middle between the red and the pink. And you're going to go down. But I do want some space at the bottom again, probably where we left space last time. So you can kind of see that line through. We're going to go right to where we had left space last time. Okay. Oh, you can tell that mine's not really equal. I should have just gone right with that where that line is. Oh, should I do that? Should I redo that? I think I will. I can see my line from the other side. So if you can too, you might want to just stick right with where that's at. It doesn't seem like the middle. That's okay. That looks pretty good probably. Then I'll use my pink. So it's just a little bit longer because it's clear up at the top this time. Your grid starts clear up at the top and it goes all the way down to where your other one ended. Split it in half, and now you're going to need 3 chunks. So 1, 2 lines should give me 3. So I've got a 2 by 3. You'll never guess what color we're going to use. Violet red. Get it outlined. And start to get ready to do some multiplication. It's going to be great. Alright, here we go. Let's start with a pretty basic one, okay? 4 taken 1/2, there's my unit fraction, times 4 taken 1/2 times. Will you please underline taken? So 4 thrown down 1/2 times. So I don't even throw it down a full time. Well, I am going to always throw it down a full time, like just once. Let me just show you. There's 4. But they don't want me to circle all of it. So that would be 4 taken 1 time, right? But I want it taken only half of that time. So that's why I still throw down all 4, is so that I can prove I only took half of it. Like that. Okay? I would maybe even underline, like, I don't know. Because it actually is just fine. So what this means is it's a half group of 4. We're actually just going to use numbers, not all words. Half group of 4. That's what that means. And what does that look like using math? 1/2 group of 4. Does anyone know what that answer is? You should. How many total tallies are circled? 2. So your final answer is 2. 1/2 times 4 is 2. That makes a lot of sense when I remember that the word that multiply means the word of. Let's read that sentence left to right, replacing that with the word of. Ready? Begin. 1/2 of 4. What is half of 4, everyone? 2. So that's why it works. Let's try another one that's half. Let's do 6 taken 1/2 times. How many of you already know what the answer is? Well, that's good if you think you do. Let's prove it. 6 taken 1/2 times. So go ahead and throw it down once. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See, that this is why I wouldn't do my cross tallies right now on 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. You see, I just actually put them in a row. That would probably be important. 6 taken 1/2 times. So I can only circle half of those tallies. I don't get to circle all 6, I get to circle half of them. It doesn't matter which half, I could do the second half if I want. Doesn't matter. And this is 1/2 group of 6, which means 1/2 times 6. How many tallies were circled? 3. because half of 6 is 3. So that should make a lot of sense to you. Let's try another one where it's not going to be as pretty, and you don't have to keep all of your tallies in a straight line, because you really don't all the time. Okay, let's try this one. Let's do 6 again. 6 taken, but I won't make it as easy for you. I'm not going to use 1/2. I'm going to say 1/3 times. 1/3 times. 6 taken, 1/3 times. Actually, I think I like things to be organized, so I am just going to keep them in a straight line. So 6 taken 1/3 times. So I'm only supposed to throw down 6 1/3 of time. See, that's why it's confusing. So that's why I would still throw down 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6. And I'm going to only circle 1/3 of them. So this becomes interesting because you have to take all of these and separate them into 3 different groups, right? Because I'm looking for 1/3. So here is how I would do that. Are you ready? I would show something like this, like little brackets. Isn't that breaking it into 3 different groups? It is. There's 3 different groups right here. And how many of them do I want to take? Only one of the 3. So not all of these groups of 6, all of this. I want to just take one of the sets. So I'm just going to take it doesn't matter, you can take the first one, I'll just take the middle one. To take it, I'm just going to actually circle it and make that part of that line. Okay, so this would mean I have 1/3, because here's 1/3, here's another 1/3, and here's the other 1/3. And what did 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3 make? It makes a whole, or it makes a whole group of 6 in this case. So what this picture is representing is 1/3 group, because it's not plural, 1/3 group of 6. And what that looks like with math is 1/3 times 6. And how many tallies were there total? 2. So that is how you get to the final answer there of 2. So let me just ask you, if this is 2, if 1/3 was 2, what would 2/3 be? If I got to circle 2/3 of them, it would be 4. What would 3/3 be? 2, 4, 6. It would be all 6. Well, yeah, because 3/3 is a whole, and 6 taken a whole time would be 6. The reason why this number is smaller than 6 is because I'm only taking a fraction of it. I'm only taking a piece of 6. So I can't have more than 6 if I have 6 total. Here's my 6 fingers. I can't have more than 6 if I'm taking a piece of it. Right? I'm going to have less. So that's why when multiplying by a unit fraction, the product is smaller than the factors, than the whole number factor, because I'm taking a piece of it. All right, let's try another one. One that might not be quite so easy. Ready? 5 taken 1/2 times. And you might be thinking, Fisher, that is not that hard, because it's just a half. Well, look at your whole number. It's not an even number like 4 or 6 or 8 or 10. It's 5. It's an odd number. So will you go ahead and just draw 5 tallies? So I forgot to underline taken on all these last 3 in pink. Go ahead and do that. 5 thrown down, only half the amount of time. Well, I throw it down once, and now I'm only going to take half of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What would half of those be? Like, how many of those should I circle for half? Should I circle just 1 of them? No. 2 of them? Well, that would be half of 4. I'm going to have to circle 2. What about 3? Should I circle all 3? No, that would be half of 6. I'm trying to only take half of 5. So I'm going to have 2 for sure. And I'm going to have 1 more. Do you think? A whole more? No, I'm going to have these 2. Plus, I'm going to cut this one in half. Watch my yellow. go across that tally and up. I'm going to take it, and I'm going to actually outline that with my pencil as well to show that I'm cutting that tally mark in half. See how there's still a tally mark down here that's not part of that circle? That's important to show. So what this is showing is it's a half group of 5. It's still what they asked for. And what that looks like with math looks like that. So what is my final answer? How many tallies are actually circled? Well, 2 full tallies are circled and a half. So, for those of you who are pretty quick with math, is half of 5 2.5? Yes, because it can't just be 2, that would be half of 4, and it can't be 3, that would be half of 6. So it has to be in between those, and that's why it's 2 and some more. 2.5 is a half of 5. Pretty cool if you followed that. All right, let's try some other ones. We got 2 more to practice here. You ready? This one. 8 taken 1/4 times. We're going to underline the taken. Remember, if it's ever taken like by a unit fraction, you're still just going to throw down 8. There's my 8 tallies. And I'm going to take them 1/4 of the amount of time. So I'm not going to circle one whole. I'm going to only circle 1/4 of it. Here is where you really need to start thinking about fact families. Okay? Here is where you need to think about a fact family. Let's go ahead inside of here and draw a fact family triangle. Okay? 8 is going to be the product because that's how many I have total. And what is going to be down here in the left corner, or what is one of my first factors? You would think 1/4, right? But when you're using it with fractions, you're going to only use the denominator. Let's repeat that. When you're doing a fact family, you take the product, and one of your other factors is the denominator of the other factor, so it will be 4. And now you're trying to figure out who's missing. So how did I get from 4 to 8? I times by 2. And that number right there tells you how many tallies you should circle to get 1/4. Okay, so I'm going to go like this. Okay, well, actually I think maybe drawing it with your pencil might be helpful, and then we'll just color what we really want. So let me show you. So if I did 2 like that, that would be 1/4. I'm going to do it again. That would be 2/4. I'm circling groups of 2. That would be 3/4. And obviously that would be 4/4 or a whole. And 8 taken a whole time would be all 8. But I only want 1/4 of those. So I only want 1 of these 4 colored in or used or whatever you're going to say with that. So that's how I know that I'm supposed to circle 2. So because how did I get from 4 to 8? I times by 2. So that means there's got to be 2 in every 4th. So there's 2 here. That's 1/4. That's 1/4. That's 1/4. And that's 1/4. Right? And there's 2 tallies, 2 tallies, 2 tallies, 2 tallies. So I'm just trying to help you understand the model. Okay? What this looks like, though, in words is it's a 4th group of 8. What it looks like with numbers is 1/4 times 8. And what is my final answer? How many got highlighted? 2. Right there. Some people ask me, well, why can't we just do the fact family then and end with that? Because it's good to have to practice modeling it and understanding it. Okay? I know it's not my favorite thing ever, but we're going to get through it together. Ready? Let's try this again. 8. Actually, I don't want to try the same one. Because I think you're only going to be dealing with unit fractions. And so I don't want to throw you off. So let's just do, this would be a good one. Let's do 1/3 of 15. So really what that would look like is 15 taken 1/3 times. Whew, 15. You ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Space them out evenly. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. As evenly as you can. There are my 15 tallies. But I need to break them into thirds, right? I've got to be having 3 groups here into thirds. So I'm going to quickly draw my fact family. Remember, the product is 15. I use the denominator, so I figure out who's missing. How did I get from 3 to 15? I times by 5. So I circle groups of 5. Okay? You ready for this? Okay, here we go. Groups of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's not use our color yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's hard for me to see where 5 is. And then that should be the other 5. Okay. And I'm only going to take, remember this is showing 15 in 3 different groups, but I only want to color in one of them. It's smart to just kind of always start on the same side, and then you'll stay organized. So this would be 1/3 group of 15. Right? It wasn't all of them. I didn't color in all of them. I only colored in 1/3 of a group. So what that means is 1/3 times 15, which is, how many tallies were there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. That's how you would model this. Okay. Oh, look. Back here on this other one, I used just 2. I guess that's okay that it's colored in that way. I don't know. I've been doing all the rest of them in the pink color, so I'm going to go back and change that. Okay. So now you know how to model it, and you know how to take the unit fractions of it, but let's make sure you understand the last thing I want us to learn for today, okay? Taking a piece of a whole. So we'll say taking a unit, well, anytime, it doesn't have to be a unit fraction. We'll just say this. Taking a piece of a whole. Make sure you write them those ways. Taking a piece of a whole gives us a smaller product. Than the whole. It's not smaller than the fraction, but it's definitely smaller than what you started with. So put that in a yellow cloud. Taking a piece of a whole gives us a smaller product than the whole. All right? Okay. So that was it for our journal practice today. I wanted to make sure that you understood how to model and how to use fact families to help you solve the problem quickly. What I need you to do next is to go into your workbook and find page 83 and rip it out. I'll see you in the next video with page 83.